After weeks now, these mysterious drone sightings in New Jersey and nearby states. And by the way, with claims all the while from the Biden administration that these drones don't present any kind of national security for public safety or federal safety. The Federal Aviation Administration decided yesterday to temporarily ban all drone flights over 22 areas across New Jersey until January 17th of next year. They said that the move was due to, quote, special security concerns, end quote. So, I mean, all of us are wondering, do the drones present a security risk or don't they? Well, it's a legitimate question, and here now to dive deeper into all of this is author Sam Faddis. He's a retired CIA operations officer. He served in both the Near East and South Asia. He's also the host of Ground Truth. Sam, welcome back to Washington Watch. It's an honor to have you.
Great to be here. Thank you, sir.
All right. Bottom line, let me just throw it out there to you. Who do you think is behind these mysterious drones?
Look, I think we should start by looking at the Chinese communists. And look, as a caveat, not everything everybody has reported seeing in the sky is a legitimate drone sighting. There's a lot of erroneous sightings. There are also some people that I guess think it's funny to essentially manufacture video and manufacture sound. Okay, so there's a certain amount of this we got to strip out, but at its heart, you have continued drone sightings that are unexplained that essentially all occur over sensitive U.S. military installations. And this against the backdrop of the fact that the Chinese have been caught red-handed, literally prosecuted, and in some cases imprisoned for doing this on multiple occasions across the country and around the world. So if I'm investigating this, where do I start? I start with my top suspect, the Communist Chinese collecting intelligence.
All right. So with that being your view, obviously I was going to ask, and I think you just answered it, these drones should be viewed as a threat to our national security, correct?
Well, 100%. Look, again, the Communist Chinese clearly are at the top of the list. They have a sustained record of flying drones and, for that matter, physically intruding on the ground into military installations, U.S. military installations. That's known. And what are they doing? They're collecting intelligence for use in the event of a shooting war, for sabotage, and so forth. There's no mystery about that. So, I mean, it's like you're conducting an investigation for a crime. Somebody knocked over a convenience store, and you got a guy that lives down the street who's been convicted 10 times before for knocking over convenience stores. Is that enough to put him in jail? No, but it's enough to go knock on his door and start with him as your prime suspect. So let's just start right there. I mean, literally, we just arrested a guy within the last week out at Vandenberg Space Force Base, a Chinese national flying drones over the base.
Good analogy there. Yeah, I wish I had it in front of me. I don't. I read earlier today that allegedly, a high-altitude balloon was spotted flying over Washington, D.C. today. And, of course, that brings back all sorts of memories as well. So there certainly seems to be enough evidence, as you suppose, the guy that takes out the convenience stores, there's reason to suspect something's going on here. Doesn't our response in all of this send a wrong message, not only to the American public, but also to our adversaries as to what we would do with drones?
100%. It sends exactly the wrong message. But, you know, you made reference to balloons. There have been any number of balloons, actually, that clearly came from China. But there's the one that everybody remembers that circled our nuke bases out in Montana and so forth. This government allowed that intelligence collection device to complete its mission, presumably transmit back to Beijing all the data it collected. And then when they finally took it down so it ended up in the ocean and no average citizen could see the payload. So we don't have to guess what the attitude of this government is toward this kind of thing. We've seen it with our own eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we have drones. There are other worldwide threats taking place. What other issues are developing out there that you would consider threats? Perhaps are not a problem at the moment. Maybe they are, but certainly could devolve into a problem quickly later this year or maybe late next year. What are you looking at?
Well, given that we're coming off 4 years of Joe Biden, everything, but a couple of things that come to mind. The Iranians have been developing nuclear weapons for some time. We don't know that they don't already have them or that they won't have them before Trump is in the White House. Very real threat. Syria just imploded. Assad is gone. Good riddance. He was a monster. Okay. But what has replaced him is essentially a new caliphate, a new radical Islamic state in the heart of the Middle East. So anybody who thinks that now we have a kinder, gentler government in Syria and have turned the corner is misinformed at a minimum.
Thank you, Sam Faddis, host of Ground Truth. We are grateful for you coming on and breaking down some of this and giving some of your professional insight on it all. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for joining us on Washington Watch tonight.
Merry Christmas.